Welcome back to Changfied YouTube channel, your trusted source for latest updates across South Sudan and beyond. Today we bring you the latest update from Eastern Equatorial State, Torit and Aweil. Our coverage includes security alert, criminal investigation, and local leaders speaking out after a recent violence incident. Before we proceed, if you are new to Changfied YouTube channel, I would like you to help the channel by subscribing, turn on the notification bell, so whenever we upload a new video, you can be notified. Let's begin our report with Torit. According to this report, authorities in Torit County, Eastern Equatoria, have issued a strong order to stop violence on key highways. Security forces have been told to shoot on sight any civilian found carrying a gun. This comes after a rise in robberies and killings along major routes, including the Iyala Payam and the Torit Capoeira Road. A county commissioner by the name Lokang Charles led a security meeting to discuss the problem. Political leaders, elders, youths, and women attended. The 3-hour meeting agreed on several actions to reduce violence. They have formed a peace committee with 5 representatives from each village. They include local members of parliament and officials from the Ministry of Peace Building to help with village visit and peace talk. And then they enforce ceasefire. They enforce a ceasefire between rival villages, especially Mura, Atiya, and Tirangore. People must travel freely without fear. Anyone carrying weapon on highway will face serious consequences, Commissioner Lokang said. Authorities also asked communities to share lists of suspected criminals to help law enforcement. Social media users spreading hate speech will also be held accountable, according to this report or information. A military official, including Brigadier General Mariano Olong, warned suspected criminals to stop attack immediately or face military action. He stated that we cannot allow our youth to die while others live in peace abroad. These killings are senseless and part of cycles of revenge. Let's look at this another incident, another heartbreaking report. In Torit, infant found in latrine. In another tragic event in Torit, a 24-year-old woman has been arrested after the body of her 9-month-old baby was found in a pit latrine. The child body was discovered on March 30th, 2026, 2 days after being left there. According to this report, police spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Justin Klopas Takuru say the woman by the name Angeyo Oruta Saverio admitted to disposing of the infant. She reportedly has 2 other children, and the father of this baby refused to take responsibility. Authorities said she felt overwhelmed by her circumstances. The infant has since been buried in Torit. Police reminded the public that child abandonment or child abandonment is a serious crime. Women facing difficulties are encouraged to contact the Social Protection Unit for counseling and assistance instead of dumping their child or their infant. This case highlights the challenges faced by parents and the need for a stronger community support system. Eyewitness says neighbor discovered the tragedy, showing how communities can help prevent such incident. We have another breaking report from Aweil. In Aweil is Ambassador Garang Deng Aguirre, a community leader, criticized South Sudan top official for staying silent after deadly killing at Jebel Iraq in central Equatoria. During Ambassador Garang Deng Aguirre visit to Korkaltan, the site of a mass burial, he spoke to grieving families. Many victims were young people who had traveled for work in informal mining areas. There are 5 vice presidents in this country, according to him, yet we have not seen or heard what action they have taken, Aguirre stated. The attack reportedly left more than 70 civilians dead. Local authorities in northern Barghazal began receiving the bodies for burial. Governor Charles Maduda Akol personally received some in Aweil town. Aguirre warned that tribal hate, speech and misinformation could make tension worse. He urged leaders to promote accountability and national healing. State Information Minister Gabriel Daniel asked residents to remain calm, promising that the government would investigate the attack. However, uncertainty remains over who will be held responsible. Army group linked to political faction deny involvement. South Sudan continued to face challenges: rising violence, tragic personal incident, and frustration over the slow government action show the need for community cooperation and strong leadership. So, when we look at all this report, Torit shoot on side order, root causes and implication. The shoot on site order in Torit is not just a headline, it is a window into the fragile security environment in South Sudan. Several things turn out: rising highway violence. The order targets civilians with firearm along major route. This shows that ordinary road meant for travel and trade have become high risk zone due to robberies, revenge killing, and tribal clashes. Community-based solution versus military enforcement. When you look at it, while security forces are instructed to use extreme measures, the authorities also established a peace committee with village representatives. This dual approach, military deterrence plus community engagement, reveal a government attempting to balance force with dialogue. So let's look at the underlying social tension. The ceasefire between Mura, Hatia, and Tirangore village highlight that localized conflicts are often driven by historic grievances, competition over land, or cycle of revenge. Order alone won't solve these deeper issues. This directive reflects both the desperation of authorities to restore order and the limit of law enforcement. Without community participation, a real peace will require addressing the root cause, not just reacting to symptoms of violence. And look at the tragic story of the 9-month-old baby found in a pit latrine exposed the silent crisis in families and social support system. The mother reportedly felt overwhelmed with her circumstance. This is a reminder that economic hardship in South Sudan, lack of family support, and social stigma can push individuals to desperate action. While police can arrest and investigate, this case shows a failure of preventive system. Programs like the Special Protection Unit exist, but awareness and access seem limited. Eyewitnesses and neighbors played a role in discovering the child. This demonstrates that community vigilance and support networks are critical to prevent similar tragedy. Beyond criminality, this story points to structural issues in social welfare, parent support, and gender pressure. Without addressing these, South Sudan risks repeated tragedies among its most vulnerable population. Let's look at the visit of Ambassador Gareng Deng Aguirre to the Jebel Iraq mass burial site. This highlights a deep trust deficit between citizen and the government. Five Vice President remained silent in the wake of deadly killing. Citizens expected leader to represent the state, offer reassurance and promise, and they had to promise justice. Silence fueled hunger, frustration, and suspicion. The victims were often young people seeking work in informal mining sites. This underscores how economic vulnerability intersect with weak law enforcement, leaving civilians exposed to army actors and unregulated spaces. The Ambassador Aguirre called for accountability and national healing is a plea for inclusive leadership and proactive governance. Tribal rhetoric and misinformation can escalate tension if ignored. This story is about more than death. It is about trust in institutions, equitable governance, and the consequences of political fragmentation. For South Sudan to stabilize, leaders must act visibly, decisively, and fairly. So, when you look at these three stories together, a few clear patterns emerge. Fragile security, road, communities, and workplaces are increasingly unsafe, reflecting the persistent insecurity across South Sudan. When you look at weak social support system, families, especially women and children, face structural challenges that sometimes result in tragedy. And again, leadership gap. Public confidence suffer when leaders fail to act, community or protect vulnerable communities. They look at the cycle of violence. Localized dispute, revenge killing, and army attack show how unresolved tension can spiral, affecting everyone from ordinary citizen to community leader. So, here's a final takeaway. South Sudan's path to peace is multi-layered. A strong enforcement alone won't work. It requires community involvement, social protection, transparent governance, and national accountability. Stories like these are warning signs, but they are also opportunities for dialogue, reform, and leadership that listens. If you are new to Changfied YouTube channel, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, so whenever we upload new video, you can be notified.